is obviously going to be a fun interview with a screen icon from the 50s and 60s who knew everybody, did everything, and at that period was at the top of her game, knowing everybody from Robert Mitchum to President Kennedy, you name them, she knew them, and whatever. We'll delve more and find out. Anyway, Sally, welcome to the panel, and congratulations on your autobiography. How long did it take you to put it together?
Off and on about 10 years or so.
And have you kept a diary of what you did and who you met?
Just sense memory, just remembering incidents that happened to me, fun things that happened.
And did you have problems resurrecting some of the incidents and the people you met?
No, actually, one thing led to another. I would start thinking about someone, and then I'd remember where I'd been before and what we had done earlier at a party somewhere else, and the funny thing that happened there. And then I would think of like, I met them with somebody else at the studio. And all these memories just sort of come clicking in. You know?
And you kicked off your career in great grand style. Obviously, your first movie was co-starring with Jane Russell.
Well, not co-starring.
Well, you starred with her, so I said co-starring.
Yes,
that's not putting on to it.
No, she's a wonderful woman, wonderful gal.
And then you were signed to a major studio at the age of 18.
Yes.
When you weren't just able to get a martini.
Yes.
Well, no, you couldn't, because you can't get if you get drinks here, you have to be 21.
That's right.
So you weren't breaking the law.
Well, who knows?
And then you had all the people you starred with and knew. One of your leading men of the musicals in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, Howard Keel, you knew quite well. Yes. How did that develop? Did you star with him?
Well, no, I met him at a studio. I'm trying to remember where. It was a big cast party there, something they were working on. And then I was in Las Vegas with my friends, and he ran over and said, "Hi, Sally," and this maybe we began talking. He remembered me. And it was just a lovely association.
And how long did you know him?
About a year.
Okay, and then I got another note here about Bob Cummings, the charming and charismatic TV personality, cast you in his comedy show, where he played the photographer, Bob Cummings.
Wonderful man. Wonderful. We remained friends for years there while he was doing the show. He was from Missouri.
Yeah.
And
you pronounce it correctly, because I know Peter James also used to say Missouri, not Missouri.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so we would just sit and talk about funny old things at my grandmother's house and this and that. And he just was a wonderful man to talk to.
And what kind of role did you have in his series?
Well, he was a photographer, and I was one of the models. At the first show I did, I was one of like 3 or 4, and I can't remember what the script was about, but it was all around him shooting, having...
Accentuating the negative.
Yes.
As it were.
Yes, dating different girls and so forth, shooting them.
And then I got the name here, the hairdresser to the stars. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Jean Chakov.
That's right.
And how did that develop? You were getting back to your roots, or was it a do-or-die relationship?
No, I met him in Beverly Hills because when I first got here, the studio said, Jean Chakov is the hairdresser, you've got to go to him. And he was a wonderful personality. He was just warm and funny, and everybody in town, all the big stars went to him. And we just hit it off and had lots of fun and went to parties together. And he was a wonderful decorator. Interior
design
as
well,
yeah.
as well as the hair design.
Yes, and I was always admiring his work.
And did you use him at all when you were decorating your apartment?
No, I didn't use anybody. I was very me.
You were just using your own talents on that one?
Yeah, mine.
Now, another name here, Peter Lawford, who was married to Pat Kennedy Lawford.
That's right.
And I used to know him a little bit, because I used to remember when he divorced from Pat. It was a very acrimonious split.
Yeah.
And he actually sent her a truckload of Perrier down and said, "Perrier, darling, don't forget the swimming pool."
Oh my goodness.
So that was, how long did you know him for?
I met him when I did a show called Dear Phoebe, which he was doing, a little series he did. I guess I was about 18 then. And so much happened between 17 and 18.
Well, you got a very early start.
Yeah.
A full life ahead of you.
Yeah,
At
well,
18. It's already being signed up by a studio, already in TV parts, meeting bold-faced names galore.
Exactly.
And you certainly know more bold-faced names. I'm looking at the names here.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew a few people, but you're just astounding.
He couldn't stop me.
Really? Well, and then, obviously, the Kennedy clan. John Kennedy.
That's right.
Yeah, the relationship was all waiting to hear about. You were close to him for only 1 month, but he did a lot in a short time,
Well,
as we all know.
and
it was just before he was assassinated in '63.
Exactly, and it was devastating, of course.
And where did you meet him? Was it through Peter Lawford and the Kennedy clan?
Yes, at his beach house.
At his beach house?
That's when he was coming.
Was this the one in Palm Beach?
No, Los Angeles.
Oh, he had one here. Where was that?
The beach house was right in Santa Monica, right on fabulous beach house. And Peter had it for years and years. And he told me about a week before he was coming in to have lunch with him there or something, at least change. He was supposed to go to the one of the big hotels, the Hilton hotels, for a big Democratic speech, and thousands of people are waiting for him. But he was going to Lawford's house first. And I said, may I meet him, please? No, Sally, no. There are going to be no ladies there, no wives, no anything. It's strictly business. You can't come. No. So I had a friend of mine, a neighbor friend of mine, a good friend of mine, drive me to the beach. I said, let's just try.
And what happened?
I went to the beach. I took my little towel and blanket, went down the beach right where his beach house ends here. And I just sat there and waited, and they came out, and the president just looked over at me and just looked at me.
Yes, he did that with a lot of people, yes, absolutely. And then what happened? Did it go any further?
Of course.
Is this going to be an Andy Dickinson moment?
No, it's a little different.
Did he have that charisma? What was it that about him?
Unbelievable. I didn't come down from cloud nine for months.
Really?
The man had such charm without even speaking, and then when he spoke, well.
And did you see him later, other than the beach house? Did you get to meet him later?
Unfortunately, well, he sent me flowers, and my agent, Peter's Lawford's agent called my agent and asked if what was my schedule for the next month.
Ooh.
Yes. And I said, it's open. Of course. But unfortunately, I received a lovely telegram from Washington, and then suddenly this thing came up in Texas, out of the blue. They weren't supposed to go to Texas, if you recall.
And we know the rest from
That's
Saturday,
right, yeah.
Of course. And how did you feel about when you got the news? I mean, Walter Cronkite.
Unbelievable.
As you know, he was crying when he announced
Everyone
the president's
was crying.
death.
At that time, I lived right across the street from Four Star, the studio. And my friend Jim Drury, who had a Western called The Virginian. And who was in that? Was that Doug McClure was in there? Yeah,
absolutely.
And I knew Jim from Fox. We were in drama school together, and he called me and said, Sally, can I come over? You've heard the news? I said, yes. And they came over, and his stand-in and some other cowboy friends of his, and these great big guys sitting around my living room, right across the street.
In tears.
We all sat,
sure.
and they brought drinks, and they sat there and cried for hours until they came and got him, literally.
And you'd only met him literally 1 month beforehand,
That's right.
Before the assassination?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And my friends knew about it.
Yes.
So we had our own little memorial with impromptu all afternoon. But everyone was crying. People on the street, people in the neighborhood.
Yes.
It was devastating.
Yeah. Because in England we had it announced on the BBC, and then the BBC announced that for the rest of the evening all the scheduled programming was going to be cancelled, and we just had a funeral dirge. Yeah. And we only had black and white television then in England.
That's right.
You had it much more quickly with colour.
Right.
So it's quite a moment.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Going from John Kennedy, Gary Cooper.
Well, that was just sort of it. Nothing was planned. It just happened. I was again having lunch with my agent, and there used to be a restaurant, and I don't know if it's still here, in Los Angeles called Villa Frascati.
Yes, I think this is still around. I know the name.
Yeah, and it was very popular, and we were having lunch, and Gary was sitting a few tables away with I think it was his agent, and I saw them talking. I said, oh my God, it's Gary Cooper. It's Gary Cooper. I can't stand it. I love it.
I talked with the Vapors.
What?
The Vapors, Gary.
Oh, dear me. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, he just happens to be the most wonderful-looking man in the world.
And then did he stroll over and introduce himself?
No. At first he talked to his agent, and his agent came over and spoke to my agent because they knew each other. And then I was taken over the table to meet him, and he's just fabulous. Just a fabulous, fabulous man. And I thought he would be all cowboy and this and that, but he wasn't. in my book, I talk about his clothes. The man dressed like a European prince.
Yes, like Cary Grant. They were known for their sartorial elegance.
Unbelievable, to the nth degree, was wide brim.
And that southern charm. Hello, ma'am. Yes, extraordinary. So you swept off your feet.
Definitely.
And did you meet later on?
Yes, we did.
Many a time?
It's in the book.
Oh, it's in the book, so we're all going to have to rush you.
That's right.
Okay, and now, having you mentioned Cary Grant, the charming and prolific actor swept you quite literally quite off your feet.
Yes.
Did you have a little dance with him?
No. I was running to Universal for an interview for a picture, and it was raining, which never rains in LA, you know.
As we all know too well right now.
Yes, exactly. And I was in my little 60s heels and my little 60s dress, short, and I'm running to the commissary before I went to the interview to get some water or something, and I slipped and fell right on my, but also quite gracefully, I must say. And yet I looked up, and who's reaching down? Cary Grant, and I couldn't believe it. And he's picking me up, and he's saying, "Oh, please sit down. Are you hurt? Are you hurt? Let me get you something. Would you like to stay?" I said, "I have to meet my agent."
Well, on second thoughts.
Couldn't do it. There was a job waiting.
And did you meet him again later?
No,
was that the one and only
that
time?
was the one and only time.
So your only souvenir of the moment is a bruised buttock.
Yes.
Okay.
But I must say, at that moment, it was charming.
And then we go on to Jack Webb. He cast you in Dragnet.
Yes.
And he wanted more from you than your acting ability. Would you like to elucidate?
Well, I think that's kind of, you'll have to read the book about that. The man was a very strange fellow. He was very popular at the time. And he had a million fingers. He was very talented in a lot of ways. People didn't realize him, the camera work and this and that. He knew about everything in motion pictures, and he was greatly admired. But he was an unbelievably tough director, the worst I'd ever had in my life.
Really?
Scared me to death. And I had to work, I'd never in my life had like 20 takes.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, because he wanted it said just like the emphasis on the last syllable of one word.
Oh Lord. Because like Kubrick was well known for that, wasn't he?
But he was getting something.
Endless takes.
But Jack's thing was like nobody knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you know how he had things pedantic, that way of chattering.
But he was just being cruel, essentially.
Well, he actually thought he was right.
Yes, but they always.
Yeah, and it just threw me for a loop. And of course, that day my mother has to visit the set, and I was mortified. Yeah.
Oh, could be Swizzle Sticks of Dawn.
No,
with your mother and Mr. Webb.
But afterwards he came and apologized and this and that and asked me to dinner. And we dated all that summer.
Yeah, and you were forgiving.
Yes.
And then he got nicer, I presume.
Yes.
Okay, well done. And then now the next one on this list, which is just endless. Rod Steiger.
Yeah.
Starred in Al Capone and was very passionate on screen with you.
Well, I greatly admired him, of course, for his work. And he came over after we were shooting and asked me to dinner, and I said yes. And we went to dinner, and we had a lovely dinner, and it's in my book.
And everything's in your book.
But he was charming.
Oh, lovely. And then we've got Michael Rennie, the charming British actor, decided to shock your young sensibilities by inviting you to a rather risque evening. But I hear you responded in a rather classic and cool manner, which you were known for at the time. What happened?
Well,
don't tell me it's in the book. But
yeah,
yes.
I'm afraid so. It's just too hard to explain.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you write? He was very sort of gallant, typical British gentleman.
Yeah, which fooled me completely.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you see. I wasn't expecting what happened afterwards.
But it's in the book.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that one. And Robert Mitchell, of course, who used to live up in Montecito with his wife Dorothy, and was a lovely man, of course, and his son Christopher, as you know, is a budding politician.
Exactly.
He said, very simply, he was in love with you. How did you meet him? And
he wasn't in love with me.
I'm sure he was.
He gave me so much wonderful advice. I was really nervous at drama school on a few things, and I would go over and he'd just talk to me about what to do about this, and all one summer.
And it built up your confidence.
Yes, he was really, honest to God, just like almost a parent.
And those doughy eyes that are in the genes.
Oh, marvelous,
you were just taken by them.
Oh,
and his son Christopher's got them as well, in the genetics department. And did you see him later at any other events, or you got in contact?
No, I saw him all summer because he was always in the writers' building with his friend. His friend was Norm Felton was his name. They were great friends, and they were drinking friends. and the writers' building was right next to my drama class. And so